Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up some wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout or click the link down below. It'll automatically apply the discount to your transaction and it helps support the channel. Thank you. Do you expect unattractive girls to do more in bed and have less redacted boundaries to keep you interested and aroused? How will you find friends with benefits that are the lewdly compatible? Most of us probably all have heard the stereotypes that most pretty girls are dead fish in bed, fat girls give better this, etc. I'm not sure if there is any truth to these stereotypes, but my recent experiences searching for a homely, lewdly compatible FWB hasn't exactly been encouraging. I'm 31M, IT manager. I just turned 31 this last month, who mostly works remotely. I was in a back-to-back relationships for almost 5 years. 4 years with Katie, 20F, works in PR, until last spring, and then immediately followed by Kaylee. Until Kaylee, 21F, left me for her ex shortly after Thanksgiving, I took my last breakup hard, and have been in a rut since. I hate being single again, especially at this age, after spending so much time being lonely and blue-balled when I was younger. Never had a girlfriend in high school and college, and I didn't lose my virginity until I was 24. Oh, boo frickin' who. Forget about a new girlfriend. I found it really hard to even find a borderline attractive, lewdly compatible FWB to blow off some steam. Due to my mental state, my family, especially my mom and my sister, has been trying to set me up on blind dates with sensible girls that fit me on paper to, I guess, placate me. I often blame my parents for missing out on all of the fun social stuff in high school and college. I either refuse to go or half-butt it when I go. None of the girls are remotely close to my type. Plus, they are all older, career-oriented girls who tend to want a quick commitment. So, they are not even FWB material. I did have a brief fling with Caroline, a 32F, a management consultant my sister introduced me to immediately after my breakup, and had an uneventful vanilla ass a few times. I tried to imagine I was having this with someone more of my type, but I quiet quit that relationship before I went to parents on Christmas. She didn't seem too bothered. I also briefly reconnected with a high school crush, Lexi, when I went to parents over the holidays. She was the only pretty and popular girl who was nice to me back then, and I always owe her for that. She owns an interior design boutique, and had just broken up with her fiancé. To my disappointment, she looked nothing like the queen bee that I was head over heels for in high school. I was willing to stay friends with her platonically, but she apparently wanted something more, and tried to muscle her way into my life. After a flaccid redacted early this year, she got offended, and we haven't talked since. Since I never bother to go to class reunions, I doubt that we'll ever talk again. In a moment of weakness, I went back to scrolling on dating apps for the first time since I was 24 or 25, shortly before Valentine's Day. And I felt pathetic doing so. But I hate being alone on Valentine's Day even more. I matched with this somewhat nerdy, pale, 29F half-Asian girl who is into cosplay, not my type at all, named Sammy Samantha. I wasn't interested in any sort of emotional connection whatsoever. It was purely S, and I refused to tell her where I lived or my social media, and I only went by my middle name. We would always meet up for dinner and hook up at a hotel next to it. I never stayed the night. Plus, since she wasn't my type at all, and I didn't find her attractive, it was really hard for me to get that unless I was being rough and degrading, this calling, name calling, face slapping, that, fish hooking, you name it. All with consent, of course. But I got the feeling that she didn't particularly enjoy it and was only going with it due to low self-esteem. I also didn't like looking at her face, so I usually did it from behind. My thoughts process was if she complained about the roughhousing or start catches feelings, I would just ghost her and move on. That was exactly what happened. She tried to make me date her about 3 weeks ago. So I've been back on the prowl since. I went to Fort Lauderdale for spring break, but I was too depressed to aggressively cold approach spring breakers there, and only got 5 girls' Instagram. 2 of them accepted my follow request, but never followed me back. I unfollowed them after a week. Another one followed me back, but has unfollowed me since. I'll probably unfollow her this week. And then the remaining 2 don't seem particularly enthused about getting to know me when I slid into their DMs. I'll probably get unfollowed within 2 months, so they're just using me for likes. So the whole trip ended up being a waste of time and money. I'm planning a road trip next week across multiple states, meeting up with my sister at a conference for moral support, and I plan to visit sports/college bars along the way to hit on waitresses. The only people who wished me happy birthday outside of my family are my 2 ex-girlfriends. Also, after spring break, I started seeing another girl named Victoria/Tori. She graduated from a community college last spring, broke up with her weird, nerdy, video game addict BF, immediately went to East Asia to teach English, also backpacked there, and is now teaching English remotely to ESL students. I didn't find her appearance as off-putting/repulsive as Sammy, but she certainly isn't my type. In terms of personality, she is an introvert, even a bit of a loner, and has almost no social media, the opposite of bubbly, outgoing Kaylee, which I adored. She also is a bit of an odd soul. She reads fiction for fun, watches old classic movies, and listens to indie bands or classic rock in terms of appearance. She looks quite mousy with long brown hair and blue eyes. She's around 5'3" and slightly overweight, but doesn't have big boobs, C cups, I prefer bigger. And she has a toothy grin. I took her out for steak a couple of times, nothing fancy, just Texas Roadhouse and Outback, but often found myself tuning out when she went on long-winded tangents. I got a feeling she barely has anyone to talk to, and got not friends with her roommates. About her time in Asia, or her boring family history. She insisted that we split the bill. I didn't want to beat around the bush and waste too much time if she wasn't going to put out, so I initiated this. But then she took issue with the habit of muttering of good girl, over and over when receiving this. She said that it was creepy. Neither of my ex-girlfriends, who were both much hotter than her, had a problem with this habit. So I was offended, got up, and left immediately. We were in the motel. It was too early for her to know where I lived. Never even had S with her. She wasn't my type anyways, and she was already boring me. Taking issue with something so minor means that we clearly weren't compatible. She texted me the next day, but I never replied. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm alienating people left and right, and I hate the man that I've become. Maybe I'm too shallow, or perhaps I was spoiled by Kaylee, but for whatever reason, I can't stop looking at old pictures or videos of us together, not always lewd. I even sometimes smell unwashed clothes that she left behind for comfort. The weather is warming up and everyone seems to be having fun, yet I can't find a lewdly compatible SVWB to blow off some steam with and take my mind off of Kaylee. It's not like I'm asking for a lot, and my standards for FWBs are quite low. Yes, we know. We've seen how you've treated other people before in the story. You know, there's better ways to pass the time than trying to go after people for the hoinky boinkies and everything. God forbid, I might recommend one or two things. Legos. Like, seriously, just there's way better things to go about when it comes to life than just pursuing people for the sole purpose of doing the under-the-sheet shuffle. Jesus Christ, dude. Treat people better than just the equipment they happen to be coming with. You already stated that you go to restaurants to hit on the waitresses as if it's some kind of recreational hobby and everything. Jesus Christ, dude. Freaking pick up underwater basket weaving or something. Jesus. Am I the a-hole for defending myself and wanting to have a de-stressing self-care break? Hello, I am 27F. About to be 28 in July. I'm a single mother of 2 girls, 7 and 5. Not long ago, about 2 to 3 years ago, I moved back in with my parents as the apartment complex I used to live in decided to kick us out illegally. And yes, I have tried to go to court and everything, but nothing was being done. I used to work 2 jobs, but was let go from both of them, and have not been able to find other jobs that would accept me, even though they are putting out that they are urgently hiring, because most jobs need someone with a bachelor's degree or higher. I have applied to multiple locations, and I still get nothing in return whatsoever. I called back and asked about the job hiring applications, but I got nowhere. My sister decided to move in with our parents, with me and my 2 children, as I am unable to get a job due to the society and complications of hiring someone to babysit my children. Their father works mornings and has not been under the same roof for a year, and has to walk 11 miles to see the kids, and can only stay for a couple of nights. And can barely, and I mean barely, afford to take care of himself due to his job not giving him enough hours as is. I have been trying to schedule my de-stressing breaks when I can. I asked my sister to babysit after her work schedule has been confirmed for the week, as well as try to schedule it when the children's father comes to the house, and when my friends, whom I go to de-stress, will allow me to come over. But every time I try, my sister changes her mind at the very last minute when the kid's father cannot come and babysit, as he has to work in the mornings, and my mother refuses to babysit as well. I rarely, and I mean rarely, ever leave the house to de-stress and give myself self-care because my mother refuses to babysit, even for a couple of hours. My sister constantly gets her so-called breaks when I do not get to do that. I had given both of my sisters and my mother a week's notice and a 3-day notice that I am going to take my break to de-stress and to get out of this house. Today, my sister decided to change her mind at the last minute to say no, even though she had plenty of time to refuse before I had gotten the confirmation from my friend to tell me that she cannot babysit my 2 girls, so I can go and have my self-care and de-stress my day, and decided to proceed with yelling at me, putting her hands on me more than once, and I defended myself against her. Since then, got up into my face more than once, so I defended myself, again, shoving her away from me before I snap and start risking going to jail for further physical conduct in self-defense against her. My mother still refuses to be supportive and help babysit the children when I need a self-care de-stressing break out of this house, and my sister is refusing as well. Am I the a-hole for defending myself and wanting to have self-care, de-stressing breakout of this house and away from everyone in the house, since I rarely ever get a break to do self-care, de-stressing breaks. So what, you're upset because you have to pay for a babysitter, and you're upset that you can't get your relatives and friends to care for your kids for free? Is that what you're upset about? Because, you know, God forbid, some people actually have other stuff to do with their life. Nope. That can never be the case. Your kids are old enough to go to school, you don't have a job, so what exactly are you saying you don't have enough time to be able to relax and just de-stress? You have a 6-hour window period when the kids are at school where you can just do nothing. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that if she keeps excluding our oldest, I'm going to take the locks off of the doors? My wife and I have 2 kids, Elizabeth, 7, and Josephine, 4. My wife and Josephine are autistic. Josephine is level 2, and my wife is level 1/borderline level 2. When my wife is overwhelmed, she likes to lock herself in a room, put her headphones on, and play puzzle games until she feels better. When Josephine was 2, before she was diagnosed, she got Josephine a tablet, headphones, coloring book, and crayons to keep in the spare room with her headphones and tablet. Now they are both diagnosed. They are adding sensory toys, a sensory swing, rocking chairs, and a tent to the spare room. Unfortunately for my wife and Josephine, Elizabeth has quite a big personality. She is loud, all over the place, very touchy, and in your face. We've had her assessed, but she doesn't seem to have autism or ADHD. She just has a lot of energy and a big personality. She also is very intelligent and has figured out there are certain things that she can do that can get my wife to give her whatever she wants to get her to stop. As a result of the escalating behaviors, my wife is starting to pull away from Elizabeth. She and Josephine lock themselves in the spare room a few times a week, and she has me help with homework and get Elizabeth ready for bed. And she is starting to talk about sending Elizabeth to an after-school program until I get home. Elizabeth notices my wife's growing disdain for her. She sees how my wife takes Josephine and locks her out of the room, how she rarely interacts with her once I get home, and how she has to eat salmon and veggies since they DoorDash mac and cheese, grilled cheese, and tomato soups, breadsticks, and other foods that we agreed would be more special occasion foods. I talked to my wife about Elizabeth and how she's feeling like her mom doesn't like her. My wife said that she doesn't know what she can do besides sending her to an after-school program until around the time that I get home. That way, she's not completely drained by the time that I get home, but I told her that sending Elizabeth away while Josephine gets to stay home with her won't solve anything. She insisted that it's the only thing that she can do to fix things. That sparked an argument because she clearly favors Josephine over Elizabeth. I told her that she can't lock herself in the room without Elizabeth, and she can't get them special meals. She refused because she needs her time to wind down, and those are her safe foods. I got fed up with her refusing to fix the situation, so I told her either she starts including Elizabeth in her downtime and safe foods, or I take the locks off the doors and stop paying for DoorDash. She locked herself in the guest room, then came out acting fine, suggesting that I get us pizza for dinner. Elizabeth came with me. By the time that we got back, my wife and Josephine were gone. She texted me to say that they were staying with their parents and she'll see me in a few days. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted and if I shouldn't have threatened to remove the locks and stop paying for her DoorDash. Saying that you're gonna take the locks off of the door does not sound right at all. It sounds like something you would say to your kid, not your wife. And also, you kind of might want to be more of a parent to the kid that is doing stuff on purpose to try to get their way. That very much has spoiled brat in the making vibes to it all. 33M/29F. I tried to rehome my girlfriend's 29F dog after it bit me. And now I think I've ruined everything. I've stopped drinking, and I want to fix this. Any ideas? I know I sound like a villain. I probably am. But I want to be honest about what happened and what I'm trying to do now. I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year. 2 months ago, I moved into her apartment. She's one of the kindest, most empathetic people that I've ever known. She also has a dog, a pit bull mix, and she's had since she was a puppy. He's 5 now. She adores him, sleeps with him, talks to him like he's her kid. Honestly, I used to think it was kinda silly, but now I understand it a bit better. I don't have much experience with animals. I didn't grow up with them. I never had that emotional attachment to pets that some people do. I also wasn't in the best place when I moved in. Without making excuses, I have been drinking more than I should for a long time. Not that kind of thing where I'm slurring every night, but definitely where I come home tense and use whiskey to take the edge off. Some nights it's 2 drinks, some nights it's the bottle. I used to think it affected me, I didn't think it affected me until last week. That's when everything blew up. I came home irritated and buzzed. I saw the dog on the couch. I told her early on I wasn't comfortable with him on the furniture. He's a big dog, and I'm just not used to animals in my space. Maybe I pushed that rule too hard. Either way, I saw him there and something in me snapped. I reached for his collar to pull him off, rougher than I should have. He growled, and then bit my wrist. I panicked. I yelled. I kicked the coffee table. Not him, just lashed out. My wrist was bleeding. I was shaking with adrenaline and a little drunk, if I'm being honest. She ran in, saw the blood, but went straight to the dog. She was crying, petting him, telling him that it was okay. And I lost it. I said that we needed to get rid of him, that it wasn't safe, and that he was just a dog. I said she could get another one later. I didn't see the horror on her face until she started crying for real. I slept on the couch for 2 nights. On the 3rd day, I called a friend who works at a breeder to ask if they knew someone who would take the dog. I thought that I was being proactive. I thought that I was protecting her and me. I didn't realize how massively violating that was. Her dog isn't furniture. He's her family. She found out because my buddy texted her. Now she won't speak to me. She's staying in the bedroom with the dog. She posted something online about betrayal and protecting those who can't speak. She told me to go stay with my mom while she thinks things over. That was 5 days ago. I haven't had a drink since. I'm not writing this for pity. I want to change. I need to change. For her, for me, for whatever future I still have a chance at. I want to make this right. Not just to win her back, but because I hate the person that I've been. I didn't understand what it meant to live with somebody who's already built a world around loyalty, gentleness, and empathy, and I bulldozed into it thinking that I could fix things by taking control. I don't deserve her forgiveness, but I want to be worthy of it someday. If anyone has been in a similar spot, whether it's substance use messing up your relationships, or not understanding your partner's bond with their pet, please tell me. Is there anything else I can do besides give her space, stay sober, and show her that I'm working on myself? I love her. I miss the way that she looks at that dog. I want to be someone that she doesn't have to protect him from. Yeah, well, I can tell you this right now, it's going to take you a little while to get that fixed and everything, because, last I checked, talking behind your partner's back about getting rid of their dog is not going to be an easy thing to come back from, so, yeah, good luck on that one, dude. You moved into her place. The dog was there before you. I'm not sure exactly why this is rocket science, thinking that you can just come in here and get rid of the dog. I get a pet snake. If I was dating somebody, they moved in and they saw my snake and said, I want that thing gone. No, you're gonna be gone. Bye-bye. But with that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.